Hi, I'm Julia Piazza. Welcome back to Birth Wisdom Postpartum Yoga. This is going to be a quick flow to help you release your hips, your sciatica, your lower back, and even release your pelvic floor muscles. So I often find that women will feel that they're having some issues like incontinence or maybe even some heaviness that they might be feeling in the pelvic floor area. And when we can release those muscles, we know that then they can engage and actually they become stronger. This is just a short flow. I know you're busy with babies. And that also reminds me that, I know a lot of moms out there are dealing with babies probably between 3 and 4 months old and dealing with a sleep regression right when you thought that maybe you had figured out how they were going to sleep through the night. And in our sharing circles in postpartum classes, this was a topic of discussion every single class. And what I usually noticed with my own 3 children is around 3 or 4 months, babies are getting really interactive. They're having a great time talking, cooing, smiling, interacting with you. And I think what happens then is when they go to sleep, they're still very stimulated. This is a whole new world. So usually it only lasts a few weeks, and I just wanted to share a little wisdom that my mom always shared with me, which was nothing stays the same. It always changes with babies and kids. So know that right when you're at the end of your rope because you're not getting any sleep, it's going to change, I promise. We're going to go ahead and start in a short breathing meditation. You can stay seated. You can put a pillow or blanket under your sit bones if that feels good, and we'll begin there. So in your seated meditation, go ahead and just come into a position that's comfortable. You might need blankets or bolsters or blocks under your knees if you need support there, or even underneath your sit bones. And let's just allow the eyes to shut down. And you can place your hands on your thighs. If you're feeling like you really might be unsettled and just need to get grounded, press into the palms firmly. If you're feeling like you want to receive wisdom, then take the palms open to the sky in more of a receiving mode. And just begin to slow down the breath so you're allowing your inhale to lengthen slowly and your exhale to release slowly, lengthening and letting go. And just allow the mind to release with the breath. Let the thoughts go with your exhale. And see if you can allow on the inhale for your belly to gently fill up with air as the diaphragm moves down on your inhale. And then on your exhale, allow the breath to go and just allow the diaphragm to lift up. And bringing more and more awareness on the inhale as the diaphragm comes down. And you feel your belly begin to fill with air. See if you can allow that expansion into the ribs and your back. So it's not just forward belly breathing. You're going to expand in the whole side of your body and get your ribs moving here. And just continue exploring that breath as you inhale, the diaphragm moves down. The ribs, the belly, the back expand, and as you exhale, it gently lifts up. And then slowly opening your eyes. So that breathing is one of the most foundational things you can do to support your pelvic floor and even heal pelvic floor prolapses or even diastasis recti of the abdominals. So I'll be starting a pelvic floor series soon, and we're really going to dive in deep to the breathing, but I wanted to just make sure you're thinking about that breathing. And instead of inhaling and bringing your belly into your spine, we actually want you to inhale and let the belly, the ribs, the back fill up with air as the diaphragm moves down. And then on the exhale, allow that diaphragm to lift up. So it might be kind of the opposite, especially an opposite way of thinking for you of breathing if you grew up in ballet or any type of sport where it was pull in on the inhale. So just work on that till I see you next time. We'll get into that more. Let's go ahead and come into child's pose. So you're taking your knees nice and wide. We're walking the hands forward, coming all the way down onto your mat, and then coming all the way down with your forehead. Settle into the breath here. And notice if you're holding on to the exhale and open up and sigh it out. It's pretty common to feel almost odd during the postpartum period when you have a moment of stillness. And so just know that you can settle in and release the thoughts. Anything you need to remember will be here for you at the perfect time. But right now, just see if you can focus on the breath. And we're gently coming up to hands and knees, still breathing. And we're going to find our way into downward facing dog. So fingers are wide. You're going to curl your toes onto your mat and press your hips up to the sky. And just begin to walk it out here. So feet are wide. Your head is all the way down. Deep inhale and deep exhale. 2 more breaths, long and slow here. And then we're going to bend the knees a lot and walk the hands all the way back to the feet, standing up. And inhaling, reach up to the sky. With your exhale, bend the knees a lot, fold forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then with your exhale, slowly come down, drop the head, and then root into the feet. Let's stand up one more time. Lengthen the spine, reach up with the breath. And then we're coming down all the way. We're hinging at the hips, allowing the head to come down. And then inhaling, reaching up. So we're not going to hinge all the way down like you might have in yoga before here, which can make a prolapse and the pelvic floor a little bit weaker. It's too much pressure. So we're going to stay in a hip hinge, which is more like here when you're practicing during this postpartum period. And then we'll reach up one more time. And then exhale from your hips, hinge forward. Inhale to a halfway lift. We're coming all the way down and keeping your block, if you have a block close by. And we're going to just step right on into Warrior Two. Right foot is forward. You're keeping your hands in the center of your mat. It helps with alignment. Even though you're not modifying for pregnancy, it really helps keep that step through where it should be. Placing your block right next to your right foot. We're going to go ahead and take the right hand forward, the left hand back. Coming into your breath here, inhale and exhale. Notice your right heel, it can line up with the left heel. And you can even take it in a little bit closer and line it up with your left arch. That's going to be up to you how your right knee feels. Inhale deep, straighten that right knee. We're coming right into triangle. You can take your block nice and high. It just feels so much better when you have that support. So know that you can use your block here. I actually think you probably get a deeper opening with the block because the muscles relax. Still breathing. Now bend the right knee a lot. Left hand comes down, right hand comes up to the sky with the breath. And now flowing all the way down to extended side angle, right forearm on your thigh, left hand forward. And then with the breath, we're coming back to reverse. We're just going to open up the sides of your body. I know how sore everything can get when you're sleeping with babies or breastfeeding and just doing everything you can to get them to sleep. So this is just going to open up and loosen all of those muscles that have probably been in some pretty weird positions. I know how that is. And now we're going to flow down to your mat. You can still place your right hand on your right thigh and modify if that feels good. If you've had a C-section, that's probably really important as well. Or you can come all the way down. We're going to go ahead and set up for the other side. So you're stepping forward with your left foot. We're coming into Warrior Two. You're going to keep your block close by, and I'm just going to turn around here so you can see. There we go. And go ahead, line up your left heel with your left heel or with your right arch. Your left heel with your right heel or left heel with your right arch. That's going to be up to you. See how your left knee feels here. So we're in Warrior Two, taking that left hand forward, the right hand back, and come into the breath. Your feet are nice and strong. And go ahead and lean forward, straighten that left knee with the breath. You're going to press down into your block, reach the right hand up and breathe. So triangle is just so wonderful, this pose for opening the spine, but it's also great for the pelvic floor. It helps engage the muscles without you even thinking about it. Inhale deep, and with your breath, go ahead and soften the left knee. Right hand comes down, left hand reaches up to the sky. And then we're going to flow right into extended side angle. So left forearm to left thigh, right hand reaches forward. And now with your breath, just keep moving and breathing. We're just opening up, getting all those kinks out, creating that softening, that flow of breath and energy. And your feet are strong, so you're still pressing into your mat. And then now we're going to go ahead and flow down. So left hand to left thigh. Come on down. And we're going to set up for some low lunges, which are really wonderful for sciatica, which I know you can still be feeling during the postpartum period. But also these lunges are fantastic for lengthening the muscles that surround the entire pelvic floor. So go ahead and come onto your mat, facing the top of your mat. Both hands will come to the right. Step the left foot forward. And you can use a block here if you need some support. We're going to rock and roll forward and back. And if you've practiced yoga with me in prenatal yoga, you're used to this pose because it's wonderful also for labor. It's really interesting, the more research we have on the pelvic floor, how the poses that help lengthen those muscles and keep them strong and supported are so many of the same poses we use in birth wisdom yoga classes. So that's just great. You know, you're getting that benefit even when you're pregnant and then beyond. So this is helping to stretch the muscles from the front to the back of the pelvic floor. And whenever those muscles can lengthen, they're able to also then engage in a better way and fire when you need them to fire, like when you sneeze or jump or cough. So let's go ahead and try the other side. Both hands will come to the left. We'll take that right foot forward. And then using your block, if you have a block, if that feels good, we're going to rock and roll. Still breathing. And just picturing those muscles from the front of the pelvis to the back of the sacrum. Those all support the pelvic floor. So we're also getting into those as well. And go ahead and remove your block, and let's just take a few really deep pelvic circles. Step out to the side with your left foot. We're going to rock and roll forward and back. Still using your breath. And this is just a great pose for releasing tight pelvic floor muscles. Let's go ahead and change sides. And it also really helps keep your spine happy when your pelvis is nice and fluid. So move with the breath. And you know, even if you only have 5 minutes, which I totally understand with new babies and kids in the house, if you just did these pelvic circles for a few minutes every day, it would make a difference in your spine and your pelvic floor comfort. We're going to go ahead and come on all the way down onto your back and come into a rocking happy baby, just because it feels good. Just to release the spine even more. This is a fun one for you to do with your baby. By the time they're 5 or 6 months old, in postpartum classes, they will almost always mimic the mommies in the classes. So you might want to try this one with your baby close by. And then let's release, bring the knees together and allow both knees to fall to the right. And just open up the arms and breathe here to the left. And then we'll take them over to the other side. Turning your head away from your knees and breathe. And then coming back to center. And let's just take a few breaths in Shavasana. Go ahead and adjust on your mat so that you can completely open up the feet. The palms face up towards the sky. And just settle into the breath. A few breaths here to receive the energy of these poses and the breath in your body. Taking a deep inhale of love and gratitude. And let that feeling wash over your entire body. Just sending your body so much love for all the good work it's doing. Growing and sustaining your baby, and now nursing and sustaining, or feeding and supporting and loving your baby. Whatever that looks like, just send your body so much love here. And then just gently come on over to your left side. Just cradling your head here. Just take a few breaths. And just another hug of gratitude. You made it on your mat and did something so empowering for you and your family by just connecting to your breath. And then gently opening your eyes and just come on up. And thank you for practicing with me today. I'll see you next time for our postpartum classes, and we'll continue adding in some pelvic floor remedies for you to practice as well.